Well, welcome everyone and happy Chinese New Year. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Collective podcast. I am Dr. Josie Schmidt, one of the founders, and we are all thrilled to have you join us today. We gather every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and if you miss our session, you can always listen to the recording on your preferred podcast platform, such as Instagram, YouTube, or Spotify. For a complete list of our community offerings, please visit us at hellovisionary.life. Today, Will Wan, LAC, will be sharing what to expect as we embark on this powerful new year of the Yang Wood Dragon. Following that, Ariana Harley and our esteemed healthcare practitioners, Louise Rose, ND, Mika Carew, ND, LAC, are going to guide us through an insightful exploration of ginger, the oil of empowerment, covering its physical, emotional, and energetic applications. And now, without further ado, let's delve into this wisdom with Will Wan as we embrace this year of the Yang Wood Dragon and explore the incredible potential of ginger essential oil. Will, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Josie. 新年快乐 in Chinese is a great Happy New Year, which started on February 10th, this Saturday of the second lunar New Year in terms of this year. So the dragon, what is the dragon? It's very mystical. You know, you think of all the 12 zodiac animals. The dragon is one and the only mystical character animal amongst the 12 various sort of animal known in the earth plane here. And what does that mean? The dragon is meaning very mystical, very powerful. It represents the lifeful energy. It is all about transformation because the dragon in Chinese culture is actually a very benevolent creature. It's very, in a very way, transformative, meaning it can live in mountains, it can live in the oceans, it can live in the sky and here on the earth plane. So it's very versatile. It also represents communication. It represents connection. It represents freedom and really the universal way. And from time memorial, the Chinese culture has utilized the dragon as a very auspicious animal, usually putting it on characters, wardrobes of emperors and empresses. And so it's a very special character. In Chinese mythology, the dragon is the rainmaker, really the being that can utilize its magical powers to allow some change in the natural features of the earth. And so that can mean water as in coming down from heaven in the rain form. It can mean transforming and creating clouds, as we in Chinese culture always look up to the sky to see if we can be in search of clouds that look like dragons. So that's really in general what the dragon represents. Let's delve really deeper into this notion of the Yang Wood Dragon. So what is representative of the dragon, especially the wood or the green dragon, is that it's going to be very balanced. Wood as the element, initial element in Chinese medicine, is sort of the controller, if you will, of earth. And the dragon represents earth. So you think of if there is a slope on the earth, like a hill, and it has no trees, it's going to be very susceptible to flooding when it rains, to the earth moving away and off that slope. But if you have a really amazing forest along this slope, that wood energy foundationally keeps that earth from sloughing off, from being demolished and disintegrated. So that's again the energy of this yang wood component combined with the earth energy of the dragon. And if we look at this slide, I don't know if we have it next, but it's of a hexagram. In I Ching, which is the book of changes in the way that is the representative of Chinese medicine, the origins of Chinese language, oracle bones, and the I Ching really look to symbolize everything. So for this year, the dragon also symbolizes Gui, which is hexagram 43 in the I Ching. It can be translated as eliminating. It can also be translated as transformation. It is bringing life and order in chaos. So that's very powerful energy at the macrocosmic or the bigger scale of the universal energy. Is again symbolizing this notion of how to harmonize, really. So to go into a little bit deeper description, you have the top character or the radical, which you see has two horizontal lines and two vertical lines. And that represents oftentimes more of like in the original form, it represents segmenting to kind of contain things, but it also means that it's going to be sort of separated. So that way something doesn't come in, something doesn't go out, and that way it's pieced out. The second radical, or the character below, underneath, is representative of a hand with three fingers and an arm. And that can really represent this quality of creating human influence, but it's also of the heavens. So that way, that the three things, like we call it the Trinity, Holy Trinity, is earth, human being, and heaven come to unify to create change. That's like a hand coming in to influence this segmentation, if you will, as a total meaning of this character of Gui. And another way to look at it is also that hexagram you see on the lower right section. That's lake over heaven, which is a very powerful quality. You've got this yang energy, the 5 single lines coming up. It's usually from the lower part, and it's energy going upwards. So that yang energy is pushing out this yin, this last yin line. So the energy, again, of this year, 2024, and this year of the yang wood dragon especially, is that you have this pure yang energy rising up, this heavenly energy, to basically almost like dredge out the muck, dredge out this sort of, in Chinese, the single yin line is sort of the turbid, is like this nature of what is unclear, what is in communication, confusion, the untruths. So you look at this really pure yang energy rising to push away and upwards into heaven, this kind of turbid yin energy, okay? So the quality here, again, in another way to look at this year of Gui, or the year of the dragon, is it's really about purifying this old energy, meaning how do we refine something that is raw, that is like, if you like cooking and you're creating a soup, you have to really put it into a fire to transform it into a delicious soup. You have to cook it. And so that's like this purification of this raw old energy into making it and refining it. And you have to do this by remembering where you came from, by visiting nature. You have to get outside. You have to see the sort of truth in nature. And you then have to connect with your ancestral spirit, meaning the sort of divine energy of your ancestors that allowed you to be here in the now, in this plane of human existence. You have to connect with the sort of divine qualities, if you will, of your ancestors that gifted you this freedom, this life that you have now. And you then can then see what the future will bring much more clearly by bringing forth and being in nature to see what is the reality out there, and then to bring forth your ancestors' guidance, those divine qualities of your ancestors, okay? And in general, Gui also means you have to really realize that you are really in the power seat, meaning at the year of the dragon is again a powerful energy. So you are in the sort of driver's seat, if you will, but you have to make sure you are going to deliberate and refrain from making major decisions just whimsically. You have to really, again, look at things at all angles, all facets. Take your time to contemplate if this is really truly what it is that you want to do. Okay. All right. So next component of the dragon, especially the young wood dragon, it's all representative of, again, this earth quality or the stomach. In Chinese medicine, the stomach channel is the official of fermentation, of food transformation, along with the spleen to nourish the body. The stomach really governs the recycling and bringing about of hormones and reproduction. We call the stomach chi, again, this fire that can consume this food that we are eating, like raw food, raw matter, air, and then converting it into chi, into energy, into a refined form that we can then utilize for strength of our muscles, to come up with grand ideas, to follow our spiritual paths, to become enlightened or immortal, if you will, all requires a healthy stomach chi, stomach fire. And when the stomach energy becomes deficient or stagnated, you lose the ability to transform the physical matter, and it starts to accumulate material. And so this is like, you think of the empty stomach, or you have this consumption of materialism, this consumption of wealth, of materialism that just is never ending. And you have this well of a hole that you try and fill with the external matter, but it never gets consumed. So that's, again, the imbalance of the dragon, the imbalance of this year. So again, to balance things off, we have to bring in forth more of this wood energy. You again have to look at wood controls earth, right? So it stabilizes the earth. It makes the earth more rooted and more stable, okay? So at the more personal human level, we look at the year of the wood dragon to represent oftentimes different things. But again, we can look at this. You need to, again, deliberate your decisions, especially if you're born in the year of a dragon. So every 12 years, and you can look that up if you are a dragon. But you need to really, especially if you're born in the year of the dragon, deliberate your decisions and be clear that you will truly want this and you want to commit yourself to them fully. But you have to contemplate, you have to look at, again, all these angles to make sure that it is what you would like. You want to plan, you want to be intentional with your thoughts, and then commit to that which you would like to do. The colors basically in this year, best obviously would be this yellow, brown, this earth tone color. That is, again, the origin, the spiritual origin color. White would be more specific to if you're doing public speaking. It would allow you to find that talent, and it would more be representative of this kind of potential energy stored. Black is, again, more in this time of dragon, more of this financial color. So you can put it in around a little bit around your office for finances. Green, again, is going to ground you, especially in this year of the wood dragon. So whether that be on clothing or different things around your home, having green will help ground you. Red is this more spiritual source color. So more in the place of red is more in your meditation space, your cultivation room, and foods. The better types of foods, especially to consume or eat in this year of the dragon, would be obviously green vegetables. Those are the healthiest forms at this year. Some degree of soybeans, black beans, any type of fermented foods. That would include like kimchi, black bean paste fermented, kombucha, miso, sauerkrauts, all those types of fermented foods would be really supportive in this year of the dragon. Sea vegetables like nori, hijiki, bladderwrack, all these sea vegetables, whether they be, again, black, but more specifically even green, like dulse, nori would be green. Dulse is more red, but sea vegetables would, again, help strengthen the dragon within your body to, again, help this transformation. And then fish. If you consume animal protein, fish is a great source to eat for protein for this year of the dragon. And that is all I have to say about the dragon, but I'll be back for discussing how it relates again to ginger on my segment with Chinese medicine. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Will. I love that. I was just I was laughing because I was to myself because I was like, I just bought miso and kimchi yesterday. I was like, perfect timing.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to move into ginger now, or would you like to come back to it?
Sure, I can go
Want
right
to just
into
move
it.
into
That's
it
fine.
now? Since perfect.
Perfect. So ginger, fascinatingly enough, it is, again, a rhizome, a root that we use in Chinese medicine very frequently in Chinese cuisine, Chinese medicine. It is a very important flavor. We call it the five flavors in Chinese cooking. But it's also one of the main sort of ingredients, if you will, that makes in a Chinese herb formula all the other herbs happy. It's really how would I describe it? It's a very it connects all the other herbs together when you put it into a formula. It creates a very safe herb formula when you combine ginger with it. It very much harmonizes, yes, Diane. And in a way, ginger also detoxifies any herbs that you have in your formula that might be slightly toxic. We even say without ginger, there would be no true consumption of foods aconite, which is a very powerful warming herb that's found, in the high plains of Tibet. And it's one of the most powerful warming, heating, actually hot herbs to really repack or regenerate the so-called kidney energy, or in terms of Western medicine, it's like the nature of tapping into your battery, really. But ginger is one of the main substances that really detoxifies aconite or futsu and bansha, pinilia. So what does that mean? It's like one of those amazing harmonizing assistant herbs that is often in play with other herbs. It's warming. If you just taste ginger essential oil or in your tea, it's very warming. It's very also dispersing or pungent. It's got a very, pachu type of nature. It releases the exterior of the surface of any kind of cold. So yes, it's terrific if you're trying to rewarm yourself on this winter season. It also harmonizes, and it really warms, again, this middle part of our body, the spleen, stomach, the middle jiao, we call it in Chinese medicine. So the whole solar plexus gets a nice kick of heat to really, again, help this sort of not only expelling any cold, but it also helps this transformative process in our digestive system. Again, that stomach fire, when we look at the dragon, is really representative of ginger, because it is this strong energy to help with not only transforming that raw food, raw energy, into this quality of qi. And it does it by also transforming any dampness, especially in the Pacific Northwest. Really great to eat or consume some ginger tea. I even have little ginger slices when I come to Portland, just because there's this quality of dampness that resides in the earth. And it really does help out with the joints. It really helps out with your stomach digestive process, with any type of nature of any kind of cold quality. Ginger is really helpful to support. Ginger affects the organs of the lung, of the spleen, and the stomach. So again, it's that stomach quality in the dragon that will enable the body to take in material, to take in this sort of raw matter and transform it into and refine it into something else called qi. And then you want to take that qi to transform it into essence, jing. And then from that, you transform into shen, the spirit. So that quality of transformation is like the intermediary steps between each state. So if you practice yoga, it's this places between the asanas, the sort of space where you transform. It's not the actual posture, it's not the actual state, not the qi state, not the Jing essence state. It's not the spirit Shen state. It's the transformative inter processes, the interconnection component that ginger and the dragon represent. Okay. Ginger also adjusts and harmonizes the nutritive layer We call it the yin layer, the yin qi, and then the wei qi, the protective qi. So again, you think of this kind of quality material matter of this qi layer around our body. It's like an invisible armor. And so when we're out in in the world, our protective qi layer, our wei qi, gets damaged or gets kind of affected, whether that be from an energetic level of like somebody being angry at you, to if you have pathogenic influences coming in, that wei qi layer gets affected. It's like that armor that gets a little bit of kinked, or a little bit of thinning. So the ginger helps to balance and restore the adequate nature of your wei qi, that protective layer, so you then can stay healthy without being, again, what do you call, porous to people's energy or to pathogenic factors, so that is firming up our wei qi and our nutritive layer qi. That is all I have.
Oh, so good, so rich. And if you have ginger, I invite you now to open your bottle and just use it aromatically. You can rub it on my favorite place is my belly, to just rub it right on my belly. If you do this, you will be reminded of ginger hours later. It is long lasting and a beautiful beautiful piece if you're feeling like indigestion or stomach troubles or cramping. Such a lovely warmer. So I'm going to hand the mic to Dr. Louise Rose, and she's going to tell us some more about just ginger. And you heard some ideas from Will, but why we would want to use ginger, how we would use it in a physical realm. Of course, as you're hearing, as Will was speaking, traditional Chinese medicine encompasses this so well. It reminds us that there really is no separation from the body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, and the physical body. But in our calls, we do break it down that way, just as a way to navigate. So, Louise, why don't you tell us about the physical uses?
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And thank you so much, Will, for sharing your expertise and wisdom. That's so wonderful how we come together with all of our different sort of ways of looking at health and the body and these beautiful oils. And we can get this really gorgeous, rich picture of the oils from looking through these different lenses. So even if you're not very familiar with using herbs or plants as medicine, you're probably familiar with ginger for digestive problems. That's a very common like folk use of ginger tea. Oh, you have an upset stomach, have some ginger tea. Oh, you have motion sickness, try some ginger, chew on some ginger. Oh, you're in early pregnancy and having some nausea, try some ginger. So that's very well sort of ingrained in our culture, I believe. But I want you just to sort of like expand your mind to think of more than just nausea for the digestive support. So like Will said, ginger is very stimulating and circulating and warming. So sometimes we have atonic bowels, where the movement of the peristalsis and the migrating motor complex in the intestinal system is not functioning optimally. Might be the nerves might be damaged or under functioning. We might feel that as like sluggish, like I eat food and it feels like it sits in my stomach forever, or it's in my intestines forever, and I really just need to stimulate and circulate and get things moving. So think of ginger for that kind of motility support. And I have a couple of suggestions of combinations of oils that would be great, either topically on top of your tummy, or you could put it in a capsule and take it internally. So ginger, fennel, Roman chamomile, and spearmint would be a great combination for gas, bloating, indigestion, that sort of tummy troubles. You could pair ginger with cardamom and peppermint. That would make a beautiful tea with a little honey after dinner, digestive sort of thing. Peter Holmes, who is one of the teachers that I study with, suggests ginger and patchouli together in a capsule for like recovering after you've had like a stomach bug, like getting your flora and your all your nerves and your microbiome kind of settled back down again. Patchouli is really wonderful for that. Sometimes people really need an appetite stimulant. So we hear often of, people trying to suppress their appetite if they're trying to lose weight, but really there are many people who have different health conditions that make it hard for them to want to eat healthy food. And we know that really being able to absorb and digest our nutrients and be wanting to put healthy things in our body is one of the foundations of our health. So ginger and wild orange have both been proven aromatically to help stimulate a healthy appetite. Wild orange is great for kids too. I often recommend that if parents are having a hard time, if kids are having tummy aches, that seem linked to anxiety. Wild orange has both that sort of calming the anxious mind and then also stimulating the appetite and digestion. There's some really great research that suggests that even small amounts of ginger oil can be protective against a bacteria called H. pylori, which can lead to stomach ulcers and things like that. So another way that ginger has been used traditionally for many years is just to protect the body from other things that we might be putting in our mouths. You can bring ginger in for a protocol that is geared towards having healthy lipids in your body, like cholesterol levels. So we know that lemongrass, turmeric, cardamom, celery seed, and ginger, that might be a good combination for balancing out your lipid levels. And then ginger also has this great quality in the body of protecting our lipids. So this is where we find that it's protective for the liver, protective for our brain, and it prevents lipid oxidation. So it keeps our tissues in a healthy state. In preventing that sort of oxidative stress that we talk about so much. So that's where we talk about inflammation. Supporting a healthy inflammatory response. Ginger has this effect both on protecting against oxidation and also reducing the expression of these prostaglandins, which cause a lot of pain. Let's see, I hear somebody asking for the lipid lowering combo. So ginger, lemongrass, turmeric, cardamom, and celery seed together in a capsule. So on a physical level, I use ginger a lot for aches and pains in the body. So as you know, we have so many great oils like wintergreen or birch or these oils, supermint, that are really great analgesic, but they're always cold. And I tend to run cold. And so I'm always looking for something that I can use on my aches and pains that's actually going to generate heat and warm and circulate. So later in the presentation, you'll see a recipe that I call the heating pad with ginger and clove, among other things. So really great for musculoskeletal aches and pains. It's going to, again, move out that stagnation, get your blood flowing, get your lymph flowing, and just generally warm things up. We also see a lot of support for ginger being used in menstrual cramping. So again, when I was talking a minute ago about how it works as an anti-inflammatory, like reducing those prostaglandins that are causing the pain signals to go through our bodies, that is one of the ways that ginger is helpful for menstrual cramping. And so with the oil, you know, using it topically over the low belly is a great way to do that. And then I also just want to remind people that there's a good healthy dose of the ginger whole herb in our deep blue polyphenol complex. And so if you tend to have heavy cramping with your period, you know, really start hitting that deep blue polyphenols several days before your period starts, you know, 2 capsules, maybe 3 times a day, to get your body ready for that inflammation, and then continue it through your cycle as you're using the ginger topically on your low belly. You know, throw a little clary sage in there too. We see ginger being really helpful for lung health. Again, if you just can close your eyes and picture like that stimulating, circulating, warming pungency that Will so beautifully described, and think about how our lungs sometimes need more support in moving that junk out, getting it out, moving it up. So if you need more expansion so that your lungs can dilate, you can use ginger that way. And then also if you have like excess mucus that feels like it's stuck and stagnant, I would put it right on your chest. I mean, it's great in the diffuser as well, but you really want to feel that circulating through your chest. Pair a couple lung oils with it, you know, frankincense, cypress, eucalyptus, Siberian fir, and maybe a little castor oil on your chest to really support your lung health. You're going to love that. I mentioned earlier how it's anti-inflammatory, modulates the immune system, and reduces those inflammatory prostaglandins and keeps our lipids healthy. So this is how it's been shown to be supportive for our brain. Let's see. I just wanted to mention too that it modulates the immune system. So sometimes people are like, what do you mean by that? And we want to think of the immune system as like sort of like a teeter-totter. Like we want it to be responsive to threats and not overly responsive to threats, like internal threats like our autoimmune condition, or external threats like allergies. So ginger helps us balance that teeter-totter so we can be responsive without being overly reactive to those threats. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention that while it can help with the spasmy uterine like cramping during your period, it reduces those contractions, but it also can be useful to people who have like late periods, scanty periods, and general like pelvic stagnation, like maybe you feel like your period's going to start, but it doesn't start for 10 days and you're just like, oh, I just want to get it flowing. Ginger is going to help with that. Ginger and rosemary together are a great combination for that. And then lastly, just check with your doctor if you're on any blood thinning medications or antiplatelet medications, because ginger can also, thin our blood, which is very helpful in for most of us. But just be cautious if you're on those medications as well. All right, lots to say about ginger. I'll pass the mic and hear what everybody else has to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Louise. Oh, I love ginger, and every time we do these calls, it makes me just have like fall in love with these plants again. Now I'm just like, oh, ginger, I have to bring you more into my life. A little joke for you, when I was researching ginger, there was a myth that redheads sweat ginger oil, and it said this is not true. And so I was laughing to myself, and I'm like, there's people that probably have believed that redheads actually secrete ginger oil. And part of me was like, I wish that maybe in certain ways they do. That kind of just made me chuckle. So I wanted to share that with you. Um, let's talk about the emotional use of ginger. This is a photo of young ginger. I think it's so gorgeous. If you're on the podcast, it has this beautiful red and green to it. It's just really gorgeous colors. You might have, if you contemplate what you already have heard, we can bring that same energy into our emotions. So courage and motivation is going to come from ginger. Ginger's warm, it's spicy, it moves things, it connects things. So if you're feeling meek or timid, bring ginger in. It encourages feelings of balance and stability. I loved when Will was talking about the earth energy and wood energy, and what does wood give to earth? Wood stabilizes, that image of a tree holding the earth in place. Think of the roots of ginger. All the roots keep our earth stable. It keeps, if we walk through the world, we can imagine if we feel unstable, rooting our feet into the ground, feeling like we are here on this earth and stabilizing. So if you need that on an emotional realm, if you're feeling like your mind and mood is going all over the place, like the wind, bring in ginger. It reduces mental fatigue. So if you are studying, if you are working, if you are getting a deep exhaustion feeling, bring in ginger. I always think of ginger as a friend when someone's really sick. It just feels like it brings in life force back. Ginger is really beneficial if someone is stuck in feeling like a victim, feeling like they're powerless. When we're in a victim mentality, we give our power away and we think that the life is happening to us. The world is against us. we let go of our own autonomy and power of that we hold within ourselves. And so you could diffuse ginger, rub it on your feet, rub it on your belly if you're finding yourself in that state. Ginger helps us to choose our own destiny, to move forward. It warms and moves energy and is really great if we are stuck in a fight, flight, or freeze response. And I love pairing ginger with the dragon, the year of the dragon, because it feels that we were talking also about moving out of stagnation and having a very stable, clear feeling of, I'm going to make a decision, but it's not a rash decision. It's a clear, contemplative decision, and I'm going to move forward, but rooted, very stable. So that's what I have to share with the emotional components of ginger. And I'm going to pass the mic to Mika, and she's going to talk about the energetic and spiritual realm of ginger.
Yeah, thank you. So, can you see me? Or I guess it doesn't matter. I can't see myself, but
I can see you.
okay. So, I want everyone to know that we don't get together and talk about what we're going to talk about beforehand. So everything is, as we speak on these calls, it's so amazing and surprising. And we're all speaking about we're using different languaging, but we come up with the same things. Isn't that amazing? That's the power of the plants speaking to us. So isn't also what was so cool is that Ariana, you chose ginger, not knowing about that it was going to be paired with the year of the dragon, right? Did you know that?
Well, I knew it was the year of the dragon, so I didn't know we would cover that in the call, but I did have it in mind with pairing it.
Okay.
Yes. So
What I got when I was meditating with ginger is, which when Will put up that hexagram 43 with the 5 lines, yang lines, and then the 2 yin lines, is that's ginger. It's breaking through, brightening up, like I think you even did that, Will, of this very, it breaks through the muck, it breaks through the phlegm. And I know I'm talking about spirit, but I also want to talk about, I've been seeing a lot of people that have the phlegm, just back to the physical for a second, phlegm in the back of the throat. I can't clear the phlegm in the back of my throat since I had some virus, So you think about that glob of phlegm in a physical way. You can use 1 drop in hot water of ginger and 1 drop of lemon. And if the person does honey, okay, great. So just remember that that would be a nice one for the patient to sip on all day long to break up that constant phlegm, or even post-nasal drip is a great one for that. But so back to the spiritual, think about brightness. So if you are feeling down, depressed, energetically stagnant, slogging, in meditation, they call it mental sinking, where you're meditating and all of a sudden you just get like flat. And that use the ginger. It'll break open that mental sinking. If you have lack of motivation, you mentioned this, Ariana, think of the brightness of ginger breaking through to give you motivation, to pull you up off of the couch, to get you going. But also, and I think you mentioned this, very grounded. It's the grounded motivator. Let's see. Oh, it's like the sun. So we have Litzia, but we don't always have Litzia. And so we were really sad when we don't have Litzia all the time, right? So next thing, and we used Litzia for depression and that heaviness, that slogginess, that deep, I can't move, I can't get out of bed. You can use ginger for that, okay? Or for your friends and family. It can uplift your mood as well as ground you, brightening, uplifting. So think of those, if you just take from me, brightening, uplifting with the ginger. Yes, I'm helpful. The ginger is helpful for exhaustion and you need support, but it's not pulling the reserves that you don't have. So don't think that it's pulling from an empty source. It's actually supporting you, like life affirming, life giving energy, life force, like the sun. When you've been in darkness and you go into the sun, it's the energy that's ginger. Yes. Remember, ginger is potent. So 1 drop goes a long way. So if you just do 1 drop in a cup of warm water and sip on that all day, if you're really in a heavy, dark, unmotivated place, that could do the trick. And maybe another drop on each of the bottom of your feet. Okay. So, because that will get to your through your whole body. Or diffuse. Very grounding, uplifting. Yes. Now talking about ancestors and your lineage, if think about ginger and how it can really warm you. So when I know we as a family, we always have ginger in our glove compartment, in our ski packs, in emergency packs. I have it in my bag at all times. It can help you with hypothermia, right? So when we're skiing, we always have that. But a lot of times for me, I get that. I used to till I found ginger, our doTERRA ginger essential oil, that deep, 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 deep cold, and nothing gets you warm. So that, remember that for somebody who, your friend, family, somebody who's sick, and I have other scenarios I want to talk about, but when you've been exposed to cold, or it would happen to me when I'd be in the summer, it'd be summertime and I wouldn't have a jacket and I'd just be out too long, or in a boat too long, in the wind too long, and then you can't get warm. Does anybody experience that? Yeah. So always have ginger on you. You could swipe that ginger on the bottom of your feet and also sip warm water with 1 drop of ginger, and it'll warm your core. Okay. Now on that, in the cold, now if you take that spiritually and energetically, if there is a pattern, ancestral pattern of being closed down and cold and solidified, like a pattern that's solidified, that you're like, that's not really me, and I'm acting cold and I'm closed down, and it feels kind of like me, but kind of like, oh yeah, dad does that, that grandpa did that, the great grandpa, and you could think back, or not even, but if it's not fully you and that's just like a habitual response of that, then you can think that that's a karmic or ancestral pattern, that you can just allow that ginger to help you break free of that, break open that crystallized cold pattern, and move on and move forward. And then it's like the 5 yang energy going through that sludge and that sludge of that last little bit. So think about that for you, your friends, your family. Give them ginger. So that's, let's see. Yeah. Or having a cold emotion. I mean, even if I have a cold emotion, or if I turn myself off in a cold way, I start getting cold. I feel cold. Don't you? You emotionally, like, I'm closing off because I'm mad, and now I'm getting cold. So use the vibration, the beautiful energy, our doTERRA essential oil of ginger. It's uplifting, grounding. Think of brightness. And also, do I have more time? I just want to talk about one scenario that you can always, if you have ginger on you, and let's talk about, it's in On Guard, it's in Metapower, it's in Digest Zen. But if you're picking someone up from a colonoscopy after being and having they're under, what is that called, anesthesia, right? When I pick my friends up from a colonoscopy, they're always really cold and shivering, and it's going to be ginger. Just give them a little cup of ginger, hot water with ginger, 1 drop, and it'll warm them right on up. or put some of that ginger on the bottom of the feet as soon as you pick them up. So anytime you have a friend from surgery, as soon as you can, give them, and they're really cold, deep cold inside, give them a cup of ginger. 1 cup, 1 warm cup with 1 drop of ginger is all you need. Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mika.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a reminder, ginger is found in cheer and digest zen and
Yeah.
Mexican blend and metapower and tamer. And I'm kind of flipping around here, so just roll with me. But I just want to remind you that if you're listening to this live, we're in the month of February 2024. And if you make a purchase of 200 PV or more, you will get that digest zen with ginger in it. Also, you'll receive copaiba, and you will, I can't see our other oil, and I got it and I just forgot what it was. Can anybody remind me?
Tangerine.
Well, tangerine, and there's one more.
Supermint.
Superman, thank you. Yeah, I was like, what was the other one? And it was just covered on my screen. And you'll receive Supermint. So Supermint, copaiba, and digest zen with a 200 PV order. And then if you are on loyalty rewards, and you make your order prior to the 15th, on the 15th or before, you will receive a tangerine. So that's 4 oils for free, which is pretty phenomenal and really good. We don't have time to go into all the ways we could use those, but really good. Just Supermint is phenomenal if you're a person that gets headaches or migraines. I want to just flip back to end our call and talk about safety. Louise did a wonderful job reminding us about safety. Ginger is really warm on the skin, so you can put a little bit of coconut oil on if it gets too spicy. And you would want to keep this oil away from children. It can, it'd be too much if a little child got into it. If you're pregnant, nursing, or under doctor's care, consult your physician. And we always avoid eye contact with the ears, the eyes, inner ears, and any sensitive areas. There was a picture here. doTERRA does make amazing ginger lemon drops. Ginger lemon is such a good combination. Highly recommend these. Keeping them in your car, your purse. I have a little bowl on my coffee table. And then if you want to make your own ginger lemon throat drops, you can take a screenshot of this. It is from the doTERRA blog. And I'm not going to read the whole recipe now, but you would take some water and honey, lemon oil, ginger oil, and you could add some vitamin C powder. So if you're a DIY person, be sure to check that out. And we can post this recipe on our Facebook page too. Something I wanted to talk about is ginger is so yummy in bone broth with celery seed. You could also add fennel in there, cardamom in there, some of those combos that Dr. Louise was talking about. Yum, really good wintertime wake me up. I love bone broth in the morning. And Dr. Louise Rose has a great supercharged bone broth recipe on her website. It's at rosecabinetmedicine.com. Golden chai. This is also from Dr. Louise. And she talks about making this as kind of a big bottle so that you wouldn't have just 1 cup with all these oils in it, but you would mix this up and then you would have a lot to have over time. And so in a 2-ounce dropper bottle, you're going to brew your favorite black or rooibos tea. Add 3 to 5 drops of chai blend with tea milk or sweetener of your choice. And it's 100 drops ginger, 100 drops ginger, just imagine, 50 drops turmeric, 5 milliliters of black pepper, 5 milliliters of cardamom, 5 milliliters of cinnamon, and 5 milliliters of clove. Ooh, this sounds yummy, and your body will love it, especially if you live in a cold climate and you're experiencing wintertime months. And in this blend, again, I can't see my slide and I don't want to misrepresent it. Can you tell me what Louise
I'll
called?
tell you. Yeah. Seeding pad in 15 milliliter roller bottle, 20 drops of frankincense, yum, 20 drops of clove, 20 turmeric, 10 ginger, 40 lemongrass, fill with fractionated coconut oil, roll over sore muscles, from Dr. Louise Rose.
Just imagine if you run cold, how good that's gonna
Yeah.
feel. Another thing that I have learned from my naturopathic community is they sure do teach and love castor oil packs. And so you can take ginger, cardamom, celery seed, and tangerine, and you can take that in a capsule with or without castor oil pack, or you can put that on your liver. And there is a great on Dr. Louise's website, rosecabinetmedicine.com. You can find this, and then you can learn how to do a castor oil pack, which is really phenomenal for your health.
Yeah, just to clarify, so everybody understands, the castor oil goes topically on your belly, not in the capsule.
Thank you.
If you're taking it internally, you don't want to put the castor oil in your body.
Yeah, you don't want to take, yeah. And then this is a blend that I made up. If you're listening, my name's Ariana. It's called Hey Valentine, and it's a non-toxic lube oil. And so you can use this vaginally if there's dryness. You can use it during sex. In an empty 4-ounce glass spray bottle, you can add 4 drops of geranium, 2 drops of rose, 2 drops of ginger, and 2 drops of ylang ylang. And then you're going to top that off with fractionated coconut oil, shake it, and it's ready to use. And if it feels a little too warming and stimulating, you can always add more coconut oil. That ginger is going to bring a little warmth and heat. And for time's sake, I am going to move very quickly, but we are Dr. Louise Rose, Dr. Mika Carew, ND and LAC, Will Wan, LAC, and my name is Ariana Harley. And we love being in communication with you and connecting with you. And I'm going to hand the mic back to my sister Aisha. And thank you for joining us on this call. And I want to give a especially deep bow and thank you for Dr. Will, or for Will, for the wonderful cover of the Year of the Dragon. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Yes, beautifully said. And my deep bow to all of you for what you bring every single month. I love our community so very much, and its rich wisdom and experience. It is really so valuable. So deepest gratitude to all of you. And for all of you that join us live, we are here because of you. And it means the world to us when you join us live and or also listen to the recording. So I want to give you a quick overview of what's coming this month, because we have some really exciting things, and then we'll wrap this up. We have had this class live several times in Portland, and we have enjoyed it so much. We decided to bring an interactive oil experience to all of you. So Dr. Josie is going to guide us through how to do your own at-home oil treatments, kind of focused on the philosophies of Symphony of the Cells and the Aroma Touch technique. So you want to come ready next week, either with the oils and the Aroma Touch kit, the Healthy Start kit, or the Emotional Aromatherapy kit. We have all of the oils listed out on the Essential Wellness page, and the invitations. If you're not familiar with what those oils are, you can go and look. And we've given you some different examples here, so you can be ready. And or if you need to order a few, you can look at all the choices and get your order in. So that will be next week. And then on February 26th, the last Monday of the month, we have Energy Joy, the Stress Fix, how to blend techniques with essential wellness protocols for living a grounded, calm, happy life, with special guest Asha McLaughlin, and then author of this book, Robert Simon Siegel, who is, I believe, a PhD expert on how to reduce stress and bring more joy into your life. And they are going to share those techniques blended with essential oil magic. So you definitely do not want to miss either of these calls. And of course, if you miss anything, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So thank you all so very much. Again, Happy New Year. This is a really exciting time. I'm really ready for this new energy and expansion. I can already feel it in all the things that are beginning to culminate and come together and happen. Okay, love you all so much. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.